trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more?
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world. Hello and welcome to AGT ACC Season 2, Round 7 tonight. It's the community voted round, of course, and it's the Nordschleife here this evening from Germany. Community voted round, of course, finally here as we continue our way through Season 2. Our Discord members voting for none other than the Green Hell itself, with 170 corners, 25 kilometres of tarmac for our drivers to navigate. There will surely be action aplenty. Toughest circuit on the calendar, and no doubt it'll be a test for our drivers' mental and physical endurance, and maybe us as well here this evening. And we're going to find out who will come out on top as the king of the Nordschleife here and conquer the Green Hell at the end of the hour for round 7 of this championship. As we are not wasting any more time, it's time to introduce my co-commentator for this race here this evening. He's back. We gave him a week off, but he's back here for round 7 in the community vote round. The one, the only, Mr. AGT, Isaac Fogarty, is alongside us. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Trev. Good evening, everybody watching at home. I don't know about a week off. I spent that evening in my hotel room watching along with great interest, fully invested in the coverage. I didn't actually end up going and doing anything else that evening, so I probably could have jumped in the commentary box. But nevertheless, it was great to sit on the couch at home and watch along, just like all of you currently are at home. And it's great to see you all tuning in. It's great to be back, Trev, and what a better place to return after a brief period of time off than the Nordschleife. Obviously, as you mentioned, everyone voted for this. No, not everyone, but over 50% of our Discord community said, yes, we think the Nordschleife is a good idea. I don't know if our drivers tonight will necessarily agree with them, but they're all going to give it a go, and that's what the most important thing is.
Absolutely. Great to have you back, Isaac. Of course, cannot wait for this one. 15.5 miles, founded in 1927, of course. 87 corners, 42 to the right, 45 to the left. And let's recap in this championship. It seems like an awful long time ago since round 1, the Italian job, of course, before we headed to Spain in round 2. A couple of times we headed to Spain, but let's not remind ourselves of that. Round 3 was the Silverstone Clash back at the end of May. And then it was the King of the Ring at the Red Bull Ring, the first official sprint round of this championship. Round 5 was the American Grand Prix, of course, Watkins Glen for the endurance round there. 2 hours, that one. That was a great race. We had the TrackSpotTV Challenge from Mount Panorama a couple of weeks ago. And that was a terrific event as well. But before we take a look at some more details for this round 7 of the championship here at the Nordschleife. The championship points for the drivers. Well, there's some gaps there, but still, as we always like to say, Isaac, plenty to play for here this evening.
Yeah, plenty indeed. The gaps are starting to grow, but that doesn't mean that it's far from over yet. Obviously, Martinetti 170 points clear of Simon Bishop, but a race win for Simon Bishop, and if Martinetti, who has been struggling with this circuit tonight, doesn't get many points, that could quickly swing to less than a 100-point gap, so keep a close eye on that. And do not count out Josh Struick. He's a fair way back, but he has been on fire this season. Adam Gray leads the way in the Pro-Am Championship. Obviously, there was no Bob Norley at Bathurst, which meant that lead grew even more. But Adam Joy sneaks his way into third in the standings, and Max Silver actually in fourth, only 3 points behind Adam. So that battle for second place, even first place in that championship, still very much alive in the Pro-Am category. And then Ian Stewart re-inherits the AM Championship lead from his teammate Wayne Tanner, who's not racing again tonight, which means that the lead will continue to grow for Ian Stewart. So hopefully he can put that to good effect, get some solid points on the board. And Matt Boyd, Fogarty Motorsport Jr., sits in third, 70 points back. So a fair way back on the points, but a good result here for either of those drivers. If they can keep their nose clean, especially around this circuit, could see a huge chunk of points come their way in a swing in those driver standings.
Absolutely. Now let's just shift our attention to the Teams Championship. CP Motorsports on top there, once again with a handy 108-point lead, but it is tight through that middle part of this Teams or Constructors Championship. Once again, one bad result, and that could cost you in the Teams race here.
It certainly could. One bad result can really come back to bite you. We've seen for multiple teams across the season. CP Motorsports only 108 points away from their nearest rival, so not a huge lead for the CP drivers. No Aidan Holton tonight. He's jumping in with Martinetti's got Daniel Wood alongside him in that CP Motorsports BMW team. And then TTR Southside in second, TTR Westside in third. So a double podium in the teams at the moment as it stands for TTR. BCG1 dropped down to fourth actually, sorry, with only Simon Bishop turning out at Bathurst. But Liam Tame is back tonight. So the man, the myth, the legend, Yuki is back in the number 56 or 59 car, I believe, actually, for this round. And then Team XV sitting in 5th. Then BCG2. Defy Motorsports doing a great job in 7th place. TTR Eastside, Cactus Racing, and CP Racing with the departure of Senan Staley. They lost a lot of points last round. They've dropped to 10th in the standings, but they've got Nathan Hutton, who has filled in for reserve teams a couple times across the season. He's jumped in the car, and he is the full-time replacement for Senan Staley, partnering with Riley Nicholson. So hopefully we can see those guys score some solid points tonight, Trev.
Absolutely, and you can see there, we'll keep an eye on those teams. Here we go, information about tonight's community vote, of course, here at the Nordschleife. We've asked the people on Discord, and tonight we will be going into a 20-minute qualifying session. It says 15 minutes there, but a 20-minute qualifying session followed by a 60-minute race, variable weather. Oh, that scares me around this place, let me tell you. And a pit stop will be required here this evening, I can assure you, as our cars are getting ready to get out onto the circuit. And we might just take a look at what's happening out on track here. Oh, hello. We've joined, who have we joined there? Mr. Wood in the 102 BMW. But look at this field, a huge field here as we've begun qualifying. 31 drivers in the field this evening, and of course we are going to be doing things slightly differently here in this qualifying session this evening. It is a staggered qualifying session with the various classes leaving the pits and doing their warm-up laps at various stages, isn't that right? So we don't get that issue where we have cars that are tripping over one another and some drivers quicker than the other drivers in the lower classes.
Yeah, absolutely. We have had that issue at a few circuits this season, but it's going to be absolutely blown out here at the Nordschleife, because you think about how narrow that circuit is and how vast the lap times can be between the fastest time and the slowest time. It's a matter of not just like tenths or a few seconds, it's like 20, 30 seconds between the fastest driver and the slowest driver, and that's a lot. So we made the decision as an admin team, the admins have decided to sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But the admins have decided to stagger qualifying. So the pro drivers had 3 minutes to go out, do their warm-up lap. Obviously on ACC, you can shortcut the track and you don't have to go all the way around the Nordschleife to do your out lap. So you can just shortcut through the GP final corner. They had 3 minutes to do that. After those 3 minutes, it became up to the Pro-Am drivers to head out. They have 3 minutes to go out, do their warm-up lap and start their flying lap, and then the AM drivers will go out and do the exact same thing. So you can see on our screen at the moment, our Pro-Am drivers who this is Nathan Lee on the screen. So these are our Pro-Am drivers doing their out laps, finding their own bit of space, and then 14 minutes to go. So in a minute and a half's time, we will see our AM drivers, which there's only a handful of AM drivers tonight, in this race, only 2 or 3 I believe. They will then head out and begin their out lap, and hopefully by then everyone should have their own little bit of real estate and their own sort of area on the circuit to keep everyone out of the way and no impeding incidents in qualifying, because that's definitely not what you want when you're on the Nordschleife.
Absolutely. Hopefully traffic won't be an issue. We've got 25.5 kilometres with 30 odd cars here. You can see there they go, sneaking through there, back onto the GP layout of this circuit, which was added in 1984, which was before I was born, so I'm not that old, let me tell you. And the current layout from 2003, this track originally founded in 1927, and we are at Nürburgring in Germany. And for the community vote round, of course, like we said, the people have spoken. But this circuit, incredible history around this place. It's just hard to believe it even hosted the German Grand Prix well up into the 1970s, of course, when Niki Lauda had his accident, of course. But 14 minutes remaining in this session, and you can see there, the track map is so large that it barely fits on the bottom right-hand corner of our screen. But variable weather, that is going to throw a German cat amongst the pigeons here this evening, because, of course, given the length of this circuit, we could see weather in one part of the track, but not in the other. So that's going to be tricky on tyres here.
Yeah, absolutely. There is definitely a looming threat of weather in this race. There always has been for our 1 hour races, so it shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. And just looking at this man on screen now at the moment, Braden Henderson, he was the fastest in practice this week in the dry. Not too much wet running for our drivers throughout the week, so throwing up the wet weather, we might see a bit of a form guide change, but a 8:14 flat was what I saw the last time I checked for this man on screen. Just want to give a quick shout out. I saw that Nitro's mum is in the chat, which is this man on screen at the moment. Carolyn and Craig Henderson will be watching at home. They put it on the big screen like it's the supercars or a proper motorsport event, which is what we love to see. So a big shout out to Carolyn and Craig for tuning in every week, watching along at home. We really appreciate your support, and Braden does as well. He's doing a stellar job this season in the pro category, and with the pace he's had around here this week, touch wood, that form continues for him tonight.
Absolutely. Big hello to everybody out there, of course, in the chat across, of course, Adrenaline GT on YouTube, TrackSpotTV on Twitch and YouTube as well. Bit of a moment there for that man, Henderson, and he continues to enter this GP layout here. And well, when are we going to start seeing some of these times? Let's have a look through the Schumacher S there, as Henderson now just there he goes on to the daunting, the famous Nordschleife circuit. My goodness me, track conditions, 32 degrees air temperature, 27 degrees in the ambient temperature, of course, and conditions looking very nice at this stage, and we believe it is slightly earlier in game time, of course, so we don't run into any server issues. But from a driver's point of view, you've done plenty of laps around here, young Isaac. What are we expecting? What's going through your mind? Is it all about that rhythm, just getting into the slot, getting into the groove here around this circuit? There's so many corners. How do you remember them all?
Look, I'm surprised that anyone can ever remember them all, really, but it becomes muscle memory. You do enough laps around this place. I remember I did a 12-hour race, got thrown in when it was dark, and just had to do lap after lap after lap. I'd never done an extended period of driving on the circuit before, and I was in the car for about 3 hours, and it's such a long time. But if you can get yourself into a rhythm, just learn the flow of the circuit, learn how the car behaves under different loads, especially with the changing surface around here. It's such an uneven road, so it's really hard to predict some of the bumps sometimes. So just getting yourself into that rhythm will be super important for all these drivers, knowing where you can use the curbs, where to avoid the curbs as well, because sometimes the curbs stick up more than you'd expect them to. Crucial parts of this circuit obviously going to be getting a nice run through the carousel as a crucial part of this circuit for all of these drivers to make sure that they nail. We can see the first group of drivers now coming onto the Dottinger Straight, so we should start to see some representative lap times soon, Trev. It's very hard to see what those numbers, like who those numbers actually are that are coming through, because they're all so small. It's a massive map and all the dots are so spread out and tiny.
They certainly are, and I've had my eyes lasered, and here we go. But James Machin now, I think he's probably not the first one of them. We've got a yellow flag there that looks like, we'll wait and see. No, back into the pit lane now. And a little birdie has told me that there's some reserves in tonight, which we might touch on very, very shortly. But let's have a look. James Machin, here he comes. What can he do in that beautiful looking black and gold Mustang? Are we going to see a lap? Yes, we are. 8 minutes 17.477 for James Machin now, and the times are tumbling. Simon Bishop there goes to third, and Adam Elzine just 0.2 of a second from the provisional pole time, which is incredible. 87 corners. He's back in the pits. Elzine, Struick goes to the top. We're going to see a pretty big field spread here, I imagine, given the length of this circuit. But 8:15.1 is the time to beat now, as we see a Quadrille coming across the line. He's 0.8 further back, but incredible. 25.3 kilometres, 87 corners, and there can be 0.8 of a second between them at the end. Doesn't sound like much, but here we go. Struick now. He's coming out for another run here, and 8 minute 15 lap, and then some. These guys have got to get the timing absolutely perfect here this evening, otherwise they might miss out on a final run in quali, and not everybody set a lap at this stage.
No, well, remember, you only need about 2 minutes to get through the GP circuit to get onto the start of the lap, but if you invalidate, then that throws your lap time away. You have to go again. So that's what we're going to have to keep a close eye on at this stage of the race. Now, you did touch on, Trev, the disparity between drivers this evening. For the reference, at Bathurst, the top 10 drivers were within a second of each other. The 11th driver, James Barton, was just outside a second. At the moment, there's 24 seconds between the top 10 drivers. Granted, only 10 drivers have set a time, but a lot of those drivers we've seen on pole, like Simon Bishop, is 4 seconds back on pole at this stage. And when you have 25 kilometres of tarmac as opposed to 6.2 like we had at Bathurst, there's so much more room for error, there's so much more room for disparity. And so we're not going to see, 15, 16 cars all within a second of each other like we have for the rest, like for the duration of this season, because all those gaps are just going to expand and blow out to more than what they normally would be. So that's something we have to keep in mind as well. It's great to see that at the moment there's a 10th between pole at the moment, which is Josh Struick and Matt Donetti, who's done what would be a 15.2 at this stage, and Matt Simmons is 0.3 back. So it's good to see the top three relatively close together, but what can everyone else who's yet to set a lap do?
Let's wait and see. That is the $1 million question, as you can see in this season. Round 7 already. Only 4 rounds to go. Let's not get upset that it's coming to the halfway mark of the season, or a little over the halfway mark. Let's just enjoy this journey. Look at that camera angle. Unbelievable. Down the corner, which I won't attempt some of these corner names, but oh, we could, I guess, but it might be quite humorous actually. The Schwelzen Bun Schwans, that's the little hairpin there that makes that funny noise, you know, on the inside of that corner. You go, there we go, there it is right there. You know what I'm trying to say, as yellow flags are out, but it's well away from where this man is at this stage in the 877 Mercedes-Benz AMG. Times tumbling. Matt Simmons, 0.3 of a second. He goes into the top 3 here as we come down this long straight. I always find this is a good opportunity to just let the car do its thing, and it gives you a real good chance to get you set up for this final part of the lap. And how many kilometres is this straight? It's about 5 or 6 kilometres long on its own, and it's a terrific part of the circuit before we get access back to the GP layout. And here we go, the undulations, 1,000 feet of elevation change around this circuit. And this lap's not looking bad so far. Let's wait and see. Let's stick with this for a little bit longer and see which way this is going to go for Braden Henderson. But wow, he's coming around now. What can he do? Ooh, let's have a look. And it's good enough for 5th. As we see Matt Donetti, Simmons and Quadril all in the pits now, but most of the other drivers out on the circuit, and still half of our field yet to set a time, including Yuki Tame Sonoda.
I don't entirely know how he feels about that nickname. I don't know if he's thrilled, but it's sort of just stuck, hasn't it? And I made mention of it at the drivers' briefing tonight as well. I did refer to him as Yuki at one point, I believe. But I'll have to. The jury's still out on that. I'll have to check in with him, see what he thinks. But I'm sure it's all in good jest. I'm happy to say that I'm good mates with Liam. We do a fair, or not a fair bit. We do a little bit of real life motorsport event stuff together. He's very involved in real life motorsport, both in the pit lane and as a flaggy. So likes to get involved, likes to volunteer his time and just get behind the wheel of a car whenever he can in the virtual world. I'm sure if he had the money, he'd be getting behind the wheel of a real life car as well. But hopefully we can see him start to set a lap time now. Not sure if this is an out lap for him. It is, because he stayed to the left of the circuit to take the final corner, as most normally would do. So 4 minutes left, 10-minute session overtime though. So if you do start a lap with just a minute or 2 left, you do have plenty of time to get around and do a lap. We see here on the screen one of our reserve drivers for Fogarty Motorsport Junior, Busain Mahalangu. I probably butchered that, and if I did, I apologise. I'm still learning to pronounce everybody's name, but he's doing a wonderful job so far. International driver, which is probably, you can see by the slightly laggy or glitchy screen we have with drive with him there, based in Europe, and obviously our servers are based in Australia, so it's a bit hard sometimes for our drivers who are overseas to have a stable connection to the server, especially at a circuit like this. But hopefully we'll see him set a lap time very soon. Most drivers though, Trev, yet to set a lap, and only 3 minutes left in this session.
Oh, I tell you, it's going to be touch and go. Daniel Wood for CP Motorsports, James Hammond for Pinnacle Motorsports. James Hammond would be a good name of someone who hosted Top Gear or something, wouldn't it? But anyway, Struick is at the top. 8 minutes 15.1. Matt Donetti, Simmons and Quadril all in the pits. Interesting. Henderson then is in P5, 3rd row of the grid. Then Machin, who set the first time really in this qualifying session as he continues on his merry way. Elzine, the young man, Adam Elzine, who's the youngest man out on the circuit here. Surely he's too young to be driving the Nordschleife and conquering the green hell in that green car number 16. Not the only Porsche in the field tonight, because James Hammond is also in the field. Gray yet to set a time. There's some big names here yet to get onto the scoring sheets and up onto the timing sheets. James Barton, another one of those. And also Mr. Worldwide for Fogarty Motorsport Junior there. 2 minutes remaining, and unfortunately, given the sort of scale of this track map, it's far too difficult to really see the cars individually. But we will see. You can see there less than 2 minutes to go. We might stick with Mr. Worldwide here as he approaches the chicane on the GP layout of this circuit. And a 60-minute race here this evening. So it's probably only going to be 6 or 7 or 8 laps potentially if we work it out. But around the 40, let's have a look. No, he's starting a lap, is he? Let's have a look and wait and see here at what's happening for him. And Mr. Worldwide, no, he is starting a lap, of course. Malangu there is in the pits along with Twining there. Liam Tame, who we don't know how that came to stick, that nickname of Yuki Tsunoda. I think he was floating around in sort of P10 or P11, which Yuki sort of made his own in the early part of this Grand Prix season. But he's continuing on. Sheppers now. And Wood, why have these guys left this so late, I wonder? And James Barton, 45 seconds off the pace. Did he walk around this track there with a time like that?
It's so difficult. If you make a mistake in one spot, it's so hard to piece it back together. And there's quite a few drivers that have reached out this week, just struggling so much with this circuit. And it's difficult to get a lap just right. And so it's crucial for these guys to make sure that they're as clean as possible. You can see there in front, I believe that is Norley potentially behind Barton here. And that they'll want to sort that out quick, smart, because you don't want to be stuck behind another car when you're much faster. Look how much he's gained in that final corner. It is Henderson, actually. He's trying to go for pole and is going to go around again. Will he get to the line in time? We're going to find out. Is he going to make it with only 3 seconds left in qualifying? I think he's just missed out.
No, he's missed.
We'll have to confirm, though. I think he's just missed out. Either that or he's got him by the skin of his teeth.
Well, I tell you what, there won't be any Christmas cards heading from the Henderson household to the Barton household, because did he hold him up on that lap? And Jimbo, or James Barton, as we like to call him here for AGT, just ducked off to the left, didn't he, to take the longer part of the circuit. But Henderson, I don't think he's made that, has he? Surely. I'm sure we'll find out in due course. Let's have a look at some of the big guys. Oh, Struick. Struick is coming up to whatever corner this is, but he's coming towards the end of the lap. And can he go quicker? It's hard to believe, isn't it? Just a 1/10 of a second between these two, as we see Struick now coming around to complete the lap. He's got a Ferrari there. And oh my goodness me, 8 minutes 12.895. 30 plus drivers. And 30 plus drivers, 25 kilometres of track, and we might have seen the pole lap on board, spectator style.
That is a ridiculous time. That's faster than anything we have seen in practice all week. He's pulled that out of absolutely nowhere. By the way, we just put a poll up, Trev, in case you're curious. We asked if Henderson if he made it before the session ended, and so far 100% of people are saying yes. So everyone thinks he's made it, but we're going to find out. There's a long way to go in this qualifying session before we get to the end. Obviously 8 minutes of session overtime. We're supposed to be at the race start according to the track schedule, but I think the race start is going to be just a little bit late today. This is Matt Dinetti at the moment, the man leading the way in the championship. He's been struggling with this track, with this car all week, and I made comment to him earlier that it seems to be a trend with him that he struggles with the car all the week through practice, and then all of a sudden in qualifying in the race it just manages to come alive. He does something to the setup, or he tweaks something somewhere, and the whole car just comes alive. So hopefully that's what it's doing for him right now, because he has a lot of time to find if he wants to threaten for pole.
Absolutely, 2.3 seconds he needs to find. There's a car up ahead of him. Not sure who that is, but out of focus there. We'll wait and see. Is that going to have an impact? Yellow flags out, car 18. If we've got a car 18, let's wait and see. There's a 1 and a something, could be 19. We'll get back to that in a moment. But here comes Matt Dinetti. Of course, it's not. We're not at the Red Bull Ring, are we? Where it's all over Red Rover very quickly. This is a long wait time before the end of this session. And I guess in many ways, though, if the drivers make a slight mistake, they might just elect to return to the pits, because we've got about 12 cars out on this circuit here at the moment. Matt Dinetti, Matt Simmons. It is Matt Simmons ahead of Matt Dinetti. It's two Matts line astern here towards the end of this session. So, wow. This is an incredible finish to this session, and Henderson as well is further down the field, but Simon Bishop is done in the pits. It's only going to be a third row start for him.
Well, third row start at best. What will the cars behind do? Obviously, I don't really think anyone behind him is looking to threaten at this stage. Nathan Hutton appears to still be on a lap, but he is 11 seconds back on our pole time. So unless James Machin is on a lap and can improve, displace Simon Bishop back a spot onto the fourth row, that might potentially happen, but at this stage it looks like, can anybody improve for pole? That answers my question, as James Machin stays 7th, returns to the pit lane, so he's done. It just looks like the top 3 and a few more cars down the field yet to set a time. Just looking at how many cars we might potentially have in this field that are running today. We've got 31 cars, and the bottom, look at that, how many cars did not set a time in qualifying just because they, most likely I'd say, Trev, invalidated their lap times and just weren't able to get a lap in, because it's such a long lap. It's so easy to make one small mistake somewhere and your whole qualifying session's over.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Worldwide, Boyd down there in 31st position. Sandwith not setting a time with Malangu, the reserve. Twining and our man Liam Tame, Griffin, Sinclair, Sheppers, Hammond. So, well, I was about to say Ian Stewart taking pole position in the AM class. Got to just remember that championship battle as well this evening. But he's, well, by virtue of the fact that he was the only AM driver to set a time. And, well, we can see 3 German marshals standing there. That's not the start of a bad joke. I don't know what is, but well, it could be a very lonely day for a marshal. And you can just imagine pulling up with your pint of beer or your Steiner and some Bratwurst sausage. It could be very lonely around this circuit. We know that Liam Tame is also a marshal, but imagine the time it would take to sort of get to an incident around this track. But let's have a look at what else is happening. Matt Simmons and Matt Denetti are still going. They've got a little bit to go here around this circuit. 4 minutes to go until the drivers have completed their laps. We've only got about 7 or 8 cars now, so we might be getting underway a little bit quicker than what we thought. But geez, it's incredible that these two have managed to find almost the same piece of tarmac here. We've still got Henderson going. Hutton is continuing as well. And here we got Hammond setting a time in the green Porsche. Sheppers and Mr. Worldwide is still out there. So, well, having said that Ian Stewart could have pole position, that might be in doubt if either Hammond or Boyd can manage to get a time in here. And we're starting to see the drivers now come down this final part of the lap. There is Henderson there, Simmons continuing on. My goodness me, down the long straight we go. And you can see big hello. And did Henderson make it before the end of the session? He must have, because he's continuing on. We've just answered our own question on this occasion as we come down this long straight. And boy, they're still going, Isaac. It's a long one, this one, isn't it? As we see now, 2.3. Have they got time up their sleeve here? Are they going to be able to find that 2 seconds they need, though, to threaten Josh Struick? That's going to be the big one.
Absolutely, it's going to be a huge one, and I want to make mention of the fact that while we run BOP around here, we're actually running the old version of the BOP that LFM used to run, so there's no restrictor on the Mustang here. So on that dotting a straight, which is, fun fact, 2.1 kilometres in length, so just over 2 kilometres, as Matt Simmons does not improve. Well, they improve slightly, both drivers, but it's not enough to displace Josh Struick, and they're still 2 seconds away. Braden Henderson, this is the man. He must know something we don't. He must have made it. He must have made his lap, pardon me, must have made his lap and started it in time, because he's pushed on. Matt Boyd has got the AM pole position. He sits 21st, so he managed to pull out a lap that's good enough for pole in the AM class. Nathan Hutton stays 12th and second in the Pro AM class after his qualifying. Sheppers goes to 17th, but it's all about this man. I believe this is the only driver yet to set his final qualifying lap. What can he do as he crosses the line?
Let's wait and see. He's absolutely on the limit. Here comes Henderson up to P2.
Oh!
Which doesn't look that bad, really, when you consider that how long this lap is, but it just makes that 8 minute 12.895 even more special as we have finished qualifying here, and Struick has taken the pole position by 1.642 seconds. And Henderson P2, Danetti and Simmons second row of the grid, Quadrille and Bishop third row, Machin, Elzine, Fleming and Carter. But then Norley and Hutton first and second in the Pro-Am class there. Then it's Wood, Joy in third, 14th overall. But if we look down the field, Mr. Worldwide getting pole position, and it's 1, 2 and 3 AM drivers all ready to go. That's if James Hammond, is he meant to be AM class? Anyway, we'll get those little birdies out on that. But that is going to be an intriguing battle as we start our countdown to this race here. And we start a full formation. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. See what I did there? We'd be here all day. But I'm sure it is a shorter formation lap in all seriousness before we get underway. And are they clouds I see? Are they Cloudenhaus? If that's how you say clouds in German.
Well, they do say the clouds are different in Germany, so we'll have to keep an eye on them, see what happens. Rain halfway around this lap would not be good for any driver because that just will catch you out. So we'll keep a close eye on those clouds. Not supposed to rain for the next half hour. So at least for the first phase of the race, we should be in dry conditions. Might stay that way, might not. We don't know. We'll find out. James Hammond confirmed not supposed to be part of the M class. He's supposed to be, he's a reserve driver, so not technically doesn't have a class. Most reserve drivers are listed as a pro driver, though, just to keep it simple when it comes to things like this, sending them out at a staggered start. But great job for Daniel Wood in 13th, who is a fill-in driver. He's a reserve tonight for CP Motorsports in the BMW. A wonderful job. Just want to make mention as well, Adam Gray, our Pro-Am Championship leader, 19th place in qualifying. And I'm just trying to do a quick count in my head. That looks like 8th place in class. So not where he wants to be when his closest rival, Bob Norley, is 11th and 1st in the Pro-Am class.
That is going to be a battle worth the price of admission alone. And if you've spent your well-earned Deutschmarks coming out here... Oh, just sorry about that. Lost my audio there for a second. But we are counting down now. And you know it's getting serious when the cars start doing that bouncing thing. That's when we're getting close. But 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Can you feel the tension? Das Rennen begotten. The race is starting soon. Here we go. And let's have a look at our pole position man as we just wait. The tension is just reaching fever pitch as there's some cars going into the back of other cars. Surely that's not how it should be, but we see the drivers pull away now. Everything needs to be right before the start of this one here, doesn't it? We need to warm those tyres, brakes, everything needs to be up to temperature before we get underway in this auto Rennen race. That's exactly right, and they get a little bit longer here, obviously. Short formation lap, but it works. From what I understand in this game, it works on a percentage, so it takes you a percentage of the way around the circuit, sets you up from there, unless it's an awkward or inconvenient spot. So it starts them towards the end of the dotting a straight. They have a little bit of time now to get those tyres in phase. Big hello to everybody watching at home. Great to see you all typing away in the chat, interacting. Hope you're all enjoying the coverage. Obviously, live and free here on the TrackSpot, Twitch, TrackSpot YouTube, and the AGT YouTube channels. And we are not too far away now, Mr. Byers, from this race start. Absolutely, Mr. Fogarty. Nitro's mum's ready. Are you ready at home? Let's hope that you are. Of course you are, because we are ready for 60 minutes around the Nordschleife here for round 7 of this community voted round in AGT ACC. Let's get it ready to go. Green, green, green. Yes, look at that. And we have started this race already. Henderson getting busy, getting very busy. Down the inside, there's contact, and that's a BMW in there as well. Was that Bishop? Was that Simon Bishop? I think he might have been involved. Oh, they're coming from everywhere, and it's absolute carnage in the first couple of quarters. And unbelievable, there's damage to Simon Bishop's car. Oh, I don't think Nitro's mum was expecting this.
He got caught out on the grass into turn one. There was carnage before we'd even made it anywhere near the Nordschleife, Trav. They haven't even got to the hard part yet. What is going on at the start of this race as they come through down towards the Dunlop curve for the first time? This is still the GP circuit. There was chaos here in round 2 of the season 1 of AGT ACC when they put it in the wall, but it looks like it is Josh Struick leading the way in this race as a result of that contact. No, he's not. He's behind another car. We'll have to wait for that leaderboard to fix itself. I believe it is Braden Henderson actually leading the way in this race. It is. So Nitro's mum be very happy at the moment with her son Braden leading the way in this race from what looks like one of the BCG BMWs, either Matt Simmons or it is Matt Simmons, and then Josh Struick in third. Poor Matt Zanetti, he's got away with most of this season with not being cleaned up at turn 1, but it looks like the turn 1 curse has returned for the CP Motorsports driver, and there was a heavy contact between himself and multiple cars through the first phase of the lap. But we're on to the Nordschleife now for the first time, Trevor, and this is where the real test of skill, concentration and patience will come into effect.
Oh, absolutely. Around this Nordschleife circuit, you can see them turn left instead of right. 25 kilometers of German racing goodness here at this circuit. 87 corners, 1,000 feet of elevation change. And look at that track temperature. Look at them all streaming through there. But where has that left Simon Bishop? Well, it's left him in P6 with a considerable amount of damage to the bonnet of that car as they all stream through. It was absolute carnage there at the front. Let's keep an eye on what's happening further down the field in the Pro-Am class. It is Bob Norley leading the way from Hutton. Look at the speed, the visual speed of these cars. Oh, someone off there. That is a Mercedes-Benz off the circuit. But Boyd, who just snatched that AM class pole, is leading over Hammond and Stewart here. As we continue on, and that is a big off, bouncing over the curbs there. And was that Stewart? I think it was. Ian Stewart is off. Championship leader is off the circuit, and he's well down the field in the AM class, and that's just going to give Mr. Worldwide all the excuses he needs to go through and get some points on him here.
Absolutely. This is what Twining and Boyd need. They're both right down the order now, so heavy contact for all those drivers running right at the back of the field. And it looks like the AM class lead currently sits with, technically not the AM class driver of James Hammond in 19th place, but it looks like to be a fair bit of heavy damage on the front of the bumper of the 95 car. So he will limp back to the pits, serve his mandatory pit stop, I'd say, and then try and run to the end. We've got Matt Zanetti in the pit lane. So the championship leader, crucially, in the lane with heavy damage. That is massive in this championship. His championship rival, closest championship rival, Simon Bishop, is 8th place at the moment and still out on the road. So that'll be a huge positional loss for Matt Zanetti.
Oh, absolutely. 55 minutes remaining in this one here. Cloudy conditions. There will be a pit stop required, but that's far too early for Matt Zanetti. Championship leader. Look at that. The rest of the cars are well and truly around this lap, but, well, there's no safety car. How on earth does he get back into this one, I hear you ask? Well, we'll keep an eye on that, but it is Braden Henderson. That's right, Braden Henderson up in lights on the big screen in Nitro's mum's lounge room and thousands of other lounge rooms around the world because he's 2.1 seconds ahead of Matt Simmons. I don't have favourites, and if I hadn't said that as the camera panned across to Matt Simmons, you wouldn't have known a thing. But Struick is right behind his bumper bar, and ooh, is he going to bide his time here? But he's looking racy. He's got some pace.
I think he's going to have to bide his time here because there's not really anywhere to overtake around here. It's very bold if you go for an overtake along this straight. That's not really a straight. So, yeah, Matt Donetti confirmed as a result of that, lap 1, first couple turns contact, is back in the pit lane with heavy steering damage, so has to repair that before he can come back out on the circuit. He's not a happy boy, and I'm sure the team boss, Josh Green, will be trying to get in his ear, just calm him down, tell him to get back out there. It's a long race, and championships are won on your worst day, so a day like today is where he can win or lose this championship just by getting back out there and completing laps. You see him start to tumble down the order now. This battle is going to go on for a while. You're just going to have to bide your time. That Mustang is super quick and super slippery in a straight line, so if he can stay this close all the way around to the Dottinger, there's a chance, a potential for a move into those final few corners if you can get the slipstream off the BMW in front.
Absolutely. We'll keep an eye on this battle. We'll wait and see what else is happening further down the field. And the Dottinger Straight. We've got a yellow flag out here for something further down the field. Can't see who that is. It's just a big jumble of numbers, but we can't see who that is. But Burrows, one of the pro drivers, he is right at the back with a considerable amount of damage. What the dickens has happened here? Number 10, and this is a big moment in this race. Matt Donetti, we haven't lost him completely, of course, but Burrows for TTR Eastside is limping around this circuit at nowhere near the pace that he needs. But we've also got Ian Stewart as well here, right behind Mr. Twining in the Mercedes-Benz. That's a battle to keep an eye on further down the field. But meanwhile, Bob Norley is doing very nice with the Pro-Am lead. As you can see, he continues his way through there, and just the concentration required around this circuit. It's a funny old place, that's for sure, because you think you've got it, and it's bumpy, it's up and down, and it doesn't take much to lose the car here. But it's this man, Braden Henderson, car number 877, leading overall here. And for Team XV Racing, look at this. And you can see in that beautiful Mercedes AMG GT3, could we see a German car winning here this afternoon or this evening? We've got BMW in P2 as well. As we go back to that now, Struick right up behind him still. Let's have a look first to the Ferraris there, P5, and that is Quadrille on Machen Elzine, but we've got Bishop into the pits. Could this be damage for him as well as Norley? So our Pro-Am leader into the pits as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think that was a drive into the pits, as our leaders haven't reached the pit lane yet. So that appears to be an unfortunate situation. I've seen Matt Simmons and Josh Struick now dropping down to 5th and 6th. So something happened there between the 8 and the 33. Maybe they're into the pit lane. So that's the number 6 into the lane. Not sure where the number 33 is on circuit at this point. But an early pit stop for those guys. Something is going on with our lead pack. This circuit is beginning to bite, which we expected it to. We knew it would. Trevor Byers, this is starting to bring quite a few key championship contenders unstuck.
Oh, absolutely. The green hell, it's playing tricks on us. We're going mad here because what on earth is going on? There's some big names coming into the pits. Machen up into second now with the quads. Mr. Quadrille in third. Elzine up into fourth in that beautiful simplistic livery of that Porsche there, car number 16. Hutton now inherits the race lead of the Pro-Am class from Max Silver, and then Adam Gray as well there in P3. And Hammond, the man who's AM class but not AM class, it is this man leading the way, and we're barely through the opening lap. Oh, we are now, that's for sure. We certainly are. As Henderson continues on, he's got the quickest lap as well. That is absolutely fantastic for him. And that just, as soon as we said that, then he has gone off at the start of the Nordschleife, and well, could it have potentially got another victim? I think he's got away with it though. And oh my goodness, Matthew Simmons
Oh no!
has got a stop-go penalty.
Oh no! That is devastating. Although I believe, as you, I think you need a minute. I'll give you a minute, Trev, just to get the brown paper bag and do a few deep breaths. But Matt Simmons, as a result of that contact with Josh Struick, had to come into the pit lane. Somewhere, someone must have taken out the pit lane board again, because he's got a 30-second stop go, and that does sting for the number 8 driver. Not something you would be too happy about seeing, Mr. Byers, but luckily, in the grand scheme of things, you actually don't lose that much time in terms of lap time around here, because the pit lane is nothing compared to what a full lap is. So hopefully he can work that back. Sits 10th place in this race now, and is probably one of the best placed championship rival cars. He's not really even in the championship equation, but he's 10th place. Braden Henderson actually doing a stellar job at the moment, sitting in first place, and we saw him almost come unstuck there. James Machin up into second, Adam Elzine into third, and I think if you want to find anyone that's in really close championship contention here, Trevor Byers, you might have to scroll all the way to the bottom of the leaderboard.
I'm starting to scroll. Let's have a look here. I got my composure back. I thought I lost it there for a second, but that's okay. I just see M. Simmons, SG30. I got a little bit overreacting there, but that's not usually like me, of course. 48 minutes to go. M. Boyd leading the way in the AM class. Gee, I love this AM battle. Mr. Stewart is right up behind Twining as well, and he is flying. But look, big names. Carter there in the Mustang there on his merry way. James Barton has made his way up into 24th there in the Ferrari. Carlos Sainz used to call it his Ferrari, didn't he? But he's in a Williams now, of course. But and is this some more action?
Oh.
More action here. Is this one of the BCG guys? Who's that? Norley now, all up behind. Must be. I'm getting confused here. It's not a great track for spectator mode on this game, but that's very close, isn't it?
It certainly is. I'm trying to see the number as it goes past, but it's super difficult to see because of the angles here. The car, it is in 21st, Liam Tame. So 21st and 26th at the moment. I don't know how that works. Someone's going to have to do a bit of maths on that to work out how 21st and 26th are right near each other without one of them being a lap down already. Maybe he is a lap down. Not entirely sure, but there's a long way to go in this race. Still 46 minutes, and it feels like we've had hours and hours worth of action. This track never ceases to bring some sort of excitement, Trev.
Oh, well worth the $19.45 DLC on the PlayStation Store. I can't believe I didn't have it in my collection already. But boy, this looks personal between Liam Tame in 21st and Bob Norley. Which it says they're not that far apart, are they? It's about 8 minutes around here, or give or take. That's strange. I'm not sure how it works out, as the marshal there getting ready to wave a green flag all on his own in the German wilderness. And boy, that could be this is it looks like it's for position, but it's not. So this is very bizarre. Matt Simmons is he's working his way around. He's got that stop-go penalty there, and I'm just trying to find some other close battles as we take a look at Sheepers here, worming their way around this track. So there are some close battles here, and Matt Tonetti 392 seconds behind, and without a safety car, of course, so he's continuing on. This could be disastrous for his championship. Still 3 rounds to go after this evening. Still plenty of points on offer, of course, but as we always know in this championship, just finishing and getting some points, just salvaging some points could be the way to go for him with 45 minutes left.
Yeah, it's all about getting points here for our championship leader. Again, consistency and just getting out there, doing what needs to be done. That's what's going to win you championships. It's not going to be winning every single race. My favourite little tidbit that I like to regale people with when it comes to this is Jamie Whincup, 2017 Supercars champion, didn't win anywhere near as many races as Scott McLaughlin did, his championship rival, but he was just consistent, and that's what Matt Donetti has done throughout this season. He's only won 2 races, the first race of the season and the sprint race at Bathurst, but his consistency has been second to none. He's been there when he's needed to. He's scored crucial points to hold that championship lead, and that's all you have to do. As we cut to Adam Elzine and James Machin, this is the battle for third. And Adam Elzine, we've mentioned a few times, is a youngster, only a young kid. He can get impatient, but he's going to need to show and exercise a little bit of patience around here. Look at the slide on that Porsche through that right-hand corner. And he's run wide now onto the grass. He is starting to get a little bit impatient. You can see the body language of that Porsche as he pushes around the circuit further. But again, just needs to start biding his time a little bit here, because you're not going to win this overtaking on a narrow piece of circuit.
No, absolutely. It's not going to end well, and that is an incredible battle there. You can see Machin has got some breathing space down the Dottinger Straight here. 2.5 kilometres, of course. Flat out, you can see the elevation changes around this circuit. It is never ending, and that battle less than a second. You can see there as we continue on through the field, there are some other very close battles throughout the field here, and Hammond is chasing down, at least that's what it says on our timing screens, but there is Hammond, car number 59. Now this is a man who, it says M class, but he's much, much quicker than that. And there we have it. You can see there Hammond continuing now down the main straight. And stop-go 30 there. Matty Simmons continuing on despite his issues. Here's a good one. And, oh, Boyd slowing up there into that first corner. And, wow, this is... he is leading, but is he going slowly? Does he have a problem?
I think he's just getting out of the way of some fast cars. I think we're starting to see lapped cars already take effect. You can see the Mustang and the Porsche in front. So that's second and third place in this race. It's he is just getting out of the way of. And keep in mind, you've got a lot of drivers yet to serve their mandatory stop in this race. Some drivers have done that, whether it's been to repair damage or just to get out of the way and have a little bit of clean air. As we can see, Daniel Wood now into the pit lane for what most likely is his mandatory stop. Get that out of the way as quick as you can. Try and get yourself in a bit of fresh air. That way you don't have to worry about anyone else around you. You're not trying to stress about battling with drivers. You've got the track to yourself. You're in your own little world. You can focus. That's what he'll be trying to do with that stop. But it's shaken up the order a little bit. Nathan Hutton leads the way in the Pro-Am class. Max Silva sits in second, and then Adam Gray sits up into third. And that is Bruce Quadrell getting through and letting Matt Boyd letting the faster car go past. And everyone's starting to spread out now. A battle potentially between Clayton Twining and Ian Stewart for what would effectively be the M-Class lead. Maybe happening on track at the moment, but both those drivers yet to come in, which means Ian Stewart is still carrying that damage from the start of the race.
And you can see Ian Stewart, he's just continuing to struggle here with the young man Twining, and that is always a very nice livery, of course, on that Mercedes AMG car for Cam Twining. And Clayton Twining even for Victory Motorsport there. Finished 12th in Season 1 and doing very nicely here indeed. Now Ian Stewart, he's going to be on the defensive here, that's for sure, after getting that damage in the early part of the race. And you can see Stewart now, let's ride with him. You can see the damage onto the rear of that Aston Martin as Woods in the pits, as well as Griffin Barton. And now Simmons also serving that stop-go 30. Elzine with the quickest lap of the race. And he's sitting up in P3 at the moment, only 1.3 seconds off of P2 as we approach 1/3 race distance. And you can see there Ian Stewart's bonnet is hanging on for dear life, but he's managing that gap okay. He's not having too many issues here from Twining as we continue on another lap now. And Twining is just waiting there in the wings as we see another driver now has fallen foul of the pit lane with another stop-go penalty there for Wood. So potentially another speeding infringement in the pit lane with those marker boards having been cleaned up early in the race. So will we see more of this in the next part of the race?
Well, that is the question that we will be asking, and we will be trying to find out what is going on with these drivers that we still have a question mark over. What question mark for me is over our race leader, Braden Henderson. Can he continue this for another 39 minutes? Because leading this race, it's a lot of pressure, but he's doing a great job of it so far. And look at how much of a lead he has, 8 seconds over James Machen. James Machen now only a second between second and third on the road at the moment. Adam Elzine has the fastest lap of the race. That Porsche's quick. Now, negative 28 kilos, so it's got 28 kilos of weight taken out of it compared to the Mustang, which has 8 kilos in it. So a fairly large, I would say, weight difference between these two cars, and Adam Elzine using that to full effect at the moment.
Yeah, he certainly is, right up behind him. This is where it's at, and 8.6 seconds further down the road. And this is going to be interesting to see. Machen now, not a bad qualifying session for him. 38 minutes remaining in this race, and you can see plenty of margin for error here on this one. Machen looking in his rear view mirrors, the young man. He's got that over-exuberance of youth, and I've got to say, he's only a young man, of course, potentially one of the youngest out there on at the circuit, if I'm not mistaken. And I've got to... Oh, he's in the wall. He's in the fence, just overcooking it on that occasion. And boy, oh boy, that is going to cost him dearly. And you can see there he's continuing on, but has he got damage from that? Or I think Machen might have been in the wars as well. But, well, it's not slowing him down too much. He's maintaining that gap. It's less than a second still at the moment.
The damage hasn't slowed him down just yet. He's still pushing on. Bit of work to do for the youngster, the New South Welshman in the number 16 Porsche. But there is a potential here that he could find himself looking at a move on the current second place driver. With traffic coming up, it is another TTR car. It's a TTR East Side car, so maybe there's a few team games that take place here to allow him to go through. But this is where this is a crucial part of the circuit, actually. You don't want to make a mistake through here as he goes onto the grass, the TTR East Side car. Not quite sure which one that is. He's going to get out of the way as easily or as well as he can. It's super difficult to let lap cars through around here. We've seen that in real life as well, that it's just difficult to get out of the way of faster cars with how narrow this circuit can be. This battle will continue. There's also a battle for 10th place on the road that's gone in favour of Les Sandwick. He's got a move done on James Hammond to get up into 10th, so that's a change of position there further down the field, as well as I keep an eye on this totem. Nathan Lee also not too far off the back of Adam Gray. So there's a couple little battles starting to take shape now as we approach the halfway mark of this race.
Absolutely, 36 remaining there. In this one, you can see Sandwith as well as Hammond continuing on. We've seen 13 drivers, 14, 15, a few others yet to make their stops, of course. As you said, a lot have made their stops due to damage and various other things. They're bumping across the road. Matt Dinetti continuing on here. A bit of a comeback drive, and it's going to be a long comeback for him. As he's been into the pits to repair some damage. Not all the damage, though, appears to be repaired on the front of that car. Car number 51, our championship leader for the Pro class, is having he's not having a great race. He's certainly not having one to remember here this evening. As we can see also to Wood there higher up the field, yet to serve that stop-go 30. So that's going to be interesting to see for him. But Boyd there further down the field. Malengu is also continuing on, yet to make his stop right at the back of the field. But Dinetti, what's his mindset coming in? We like our buzzwords here at AGT. Damage limitation is one of them. and he's definitely just going to be trying to get this thing to the end. He's still got the pace, and more importantly, he's got a bit of clear air, which on a track 25 kilometres long is not too hard to get, mind you, but he's still looking at the positives, and he's got to be looking at those German clouds and hoping for a silver lining.
Well, it looks like at this stage the rain is going to stay away, which I think he'll actually be very grateful for. He was not excited at the prospect of driving this circuit in the wet, so we will keep a close eye on the 51 car. He still has to come in for his mandatory pit stop, so we've got to see him tour the lane again, which will cost him time, but he shouldn't lose any. We shouldn't lose too many positions here, if any at all. Obviously a 30-second stop time, about just under a minute for the transit time in the pit lane here, so hopefully we won't see him drop too further back down the field if he can stay out of trouble, maybe even gain some positions.
Absolutely, we'll keep an eye on that, and well, let's continue to go through the order. There's an interesting battle continuing. Elzine, as we see Lee come into the pit lane in the 53 Ferrari. Hello! We've got a change of position because Elzine and Machen have swapped here. And whilst these two have been squabbling, 9.3 seconds is now the gap to Braden Henderson up there in P1. And boy, you can see there, why are we looking at that Ferrari? It's because Elzine, I don't know why we were looking at that Ferrari, but Elzine has made the move. Can he maintain P2 now?
Well, that's going to be the question, isn't it? Can he hold on to it? The pressure now switches. It goes from being on James Mason to being on Adam Elzine. He needs to perform here through the Nordschleife to hold on to this second place. Both these drivers still have to stop as well. So mistake-free is what this number 16 Porsche driver needs now, because any mistake will drop him right down the field. And there's a few names that are still lurking. Nathan Hutton sitting in 4th place in this race, which is a stellar job to be all the way up into 4th. Is in leading the Pro-Am class. Max Silver in 6th. So a lot of the Pro-Am drivers staying out of trouble, which is really good to see. We're also seeing the AM drivers right up there as well. Ian Stewart, Clayton Twining, their career best positions at the moment of 12th and 13th.
Yes, they are doing very nicely indeed, as Elzine continues on now under pressure. Takes a while for the leaderboards to update here. You think they could have just put a patch in or something, couldn't you, to give us the leaderboard straight away? But anyway, thank you, Kunos. Let's wait and see what's out in the future there for you. But AGT ACC here and now, round 7 of this season. It's going too quickly. That's for sure. This season, still 8, 9 and 10 to go, but this is the community voted round, and these crazy people on Discord have voted for the Nordschleife here this evening, and we've still got half the race to go here on this circuit now, and let's keep an eye on what else is happening. Stewart now leading, still leading the AM class there from Clayton Twining in P2. 6.2 seconds is that gap, and these two have yet to make a stop. And given this circuit, the 24-hour layout here of the Nürburgring, it's going to be interesting. Are you looking to make pit stops half distance? I guess it doesn't really matter given the length of this circuit. We see Stewart continuing on his merry way. Is that Twining going slowly? That gap still 6.2 seconds. And Struick now is well down the field. Fastest lap of this race. He's made his stop. He's looking pretty good here to set up in the back half of this run.
Yeah, I was just going to comment. He's on fire. He's made his mandatory stop. He's good to go right until the end. He's got it is a 50-second gap to Cameron Fleming in front, but both those drivers have ticked the box of needing to stop and staying out of their pit stop. So they're good to go. They're right till the end. So is Nathan Lee in 11th place. He's right till the end as well. So this could play out really well for a bunch of drivers who are just outside the top 10 lurking. They could put themselves in a position to be threatening for a top 5, even potentially the lead of this race if things go their way. Just have to see how their pace is, but at the moment it is Braden Henderson still leading the way. We have had a couple retirements. I can confirm one of them is Liam Tame. Still working on finding out who the other two are, but I can confirm we have had at least Liam Tame retire from this race Just wasn't going his way. He had a really good lap 1, but then it just all sort of came unstuck from there, as has been the case for a lot of drivers. They either had a really good lap 1 and then it's come unstuck since then, or they had a really terrible lap 1 and things have just sort of slowly improved and got back on a bit of a better slope.
Yeah, absolutely. Half race distance now. Still, we continue on. Struick and Carter there as well, yet to make his stop. Will he dive into the pits? Will he go right, or will he go left? Let's wait and see. You can see there he goes. Burrows now, another big name. Wood, who's yet to serve that stop-go penalty. And Joy's got one as well. I guess around here, 3 laps is a long time, isn't it, really, to serve it when you think about it. Barton now inside the top 20, but bouncing across the grass. And there's a marshal waving a white flag, and Barton's in the wall again. He is cutting grass like you wouldn't believe, and bang! Could this be the end for James Barton and the 91 Ferrari?
Oh, well, he's almost at the pits. You've just got to get it back to the pit lane. He's so close. You've just got to, even if the steering's bent, just find a way to roll that car to pit lane. That's exactly what he's doing. Look at, he has so little input. But this is going to save him so much more time than trying to drive or pulling over and jumping back to the lane when you're right there, right at the pit entry. So he's got it back to the pits. That's good. He will come in and repair that damage. It's so easy once you make one small mistake around here to just make so many more. And he pulls up with the invisible pit crew. And we take our hats off to them for not only doing what they do, but doing it unseen as well. They do a great job. And this is Drew Griffin, sitting in what is 19th place at this stage of the race. I believe his teammate, Les Sandwith, is right up the order inside the top 10 as well. So a good result so far, a good showing for Team XV. They'll be looking for a nice bag of championship points.
Certainly will be, and that's what it's all about. Points at the end of the championship and at the end of the day. And we continue on. Good to see Matt Dinetti, who's cracked that top 20 here as well. 27 minutes to go, 11 seconds. Let's recap if you are just joining us here on the broadcast. Round 7 of this championship, brought to you by TrackSpotTV and RavenComms as well. Great to see a brand new revolution in the world of sim racing. Of course, if you want to get involved, all the W's.trackspot.tv. We are halfway through this race, a little bit over halfway. Henderson continues to lead. We're only on lap 3, but it's a very long lap around here, of course. And LZ now up into second. He's pulling away from Machin, or is he? No, he's not. He is back into 3rd place. Wow, so he has lost out there on this occasion, and he's back down to 3rd.
Well, that's what we spoke about. He became the driver with the pressure applied to them, which meant that he then had a very hard-charging Mustang right behind him. Those Mustangs are very quick in a straight line, especially in slipstream, so that is a change of position. Will either of them, or maybe both of them, come into the lane this time through? Let's find out as they make their run through the final sequence of corners. There's the pit lane entry if you're just using the Nordschleife. So Elzine's going to come in a little bit squirrely on the entry. Will he pull it up in time? I think he does. Just make the line to get it into the pits. That is our race leader as well into the lane. So Braden Henderson into the pits, Adam Elzine into the pits. James Machin chooses to stay out. So he will inherit the race lead, but he is staying out. He's got Matt Dinetti right behind him, who is a lap down. What would you do here if you're James Machin? Do you let him go? Do you say, yeah, righto, you have clearly got more reason to push harder than me at this stage? Or do you just say, no, you're a lap car, stay behind and we'll go together?
Good question, and the answer, with me not being much of a driver myself, I would just, I'd let him go. I reckon it's not his battle, is it, surely? And he's sitting pretty there, of course. James Machin. Having said that, he doesn't look to be getting jumping out of the way for him of Matt Dinetti, but it could be personal. We'll wait and see, but he's only really affecting his own race here, Machin, isn't he, if he does hold him up, because he really needs to get on his bike and try and get further down the road as much as he can, of course, before he has to come in and make his stop, of course. Henderson and Elzine, they've cleared the pit lane. As you can see, they're green now next to their number on the right-hand side. showing that they have made their pit stops. But, well, they're just managing the gap here at the moment. Machin is going to come in this time around. We'll wait and see. But, well, that answers that question. He's not letting him by at all. Matt Donetti copping a mouthful and a wingful of Mustang there in front of him.
Yeah, it's going to be what it is now. I think he's going to have to hope, because he's on fresher tyres as well as Matt Donetti, so he's just going to have to hope that Machin is going to push, because we know that Donetti's quick around here if he gets a lap together, and he will want to try and gain as many places as he can as this race goes on. So there's a bit of work for the 51 driver to do. There may be a way for him to get past Machin, but I wouldn't be trying to do it on the Nordschleife, not anywhere around here anyway. So that's a long way to go. But we now have to ask ourselves, is this going to work in the favour of Machin to keep that position over Elzine, or will the undercut from Elzine pay dividends to get that spot back? But most of our top 6 have now pitted, served their stop, and they all have green next to their name. The only drivers inside the top 10 yet to stop are James Machin, Les Sandwith and James Hammond. Once the leaderboard updates, man, it takes a long time for the leaderboard to update to show that James Machin is actually in the lead of this race. We're well onto the Nordschleife now, and it has not registered that has changed. So we'll have to maybe look at what's happening with these. It updates at the end of every sector. So there we go. That's the end of what we technically call the first sector of this track, and it's finally updated that James Machin leads the way in this race. So a long time before this totem will update, but once it does, we'll get an idea of where everybody sits on the road and what they have to do to get back to where they were or gain positions.
Absolutely, and you can see AM drivers have come into the pits, Stewart and Twining as well, first and second. As we've got most of our drivers have made their stops, still Sandwith, as you said, Hammond as well. Yet to come in. We are looking at Gray, who's gone off slightly there into the gravel. Old school track, of course. None of your concrete runoffs and tyre barriers, etc. But it's going to be a 22-minute run to the end here of the Nordschleife. Almost 2/3 distance through this race here. Still with 20 to tick over 20 minutes to go. And it's saying that he's very close to Hammond on the circuit, but I'm not seeing a number 59 Porsche, because there he is, much further down the field. And it is an interesting track, to say the least, for those of us spectating here this afternoon or this evening. And there's been a change. Hammond, no, now that's updated. So the timing sheets are really off there. Wood continuing on. Joy with the stop-go penalty as well. So the field spread is quite significant. As you can see, Twining has come back out onto the circuit. 1.1 behind Fleming there. So interesting little battle here. Stewart doing well though. Continuing on, of course, he is leading that championship for Team Kiwi. But Twining is going to be hard to stop as well on a fresh set of tyres. Struick is there, continuing on now. Ran into some trouble down in 15th, but he's doing pretty well. He's very nicely set for the back end of this race. And we're only on lap 4. Can you believe it? But what other battles can we see occurring here? Barton into the pits. Is that his night done? We'll keep an eye on that. But we started with 31 drivers and we're down to 28. We can confirm that we did lose Liam Tame there as well, didn't we? And a couple of others. How are the reserves going? Malangu there in 26th position. And how are those other reserves going? We'll keep an eye on those drivers as well a little bit later on in proceedings. But, well, it's just we're in a bit of a holding pattern here at the moment, folks. Do not go anywhere, though. Let's have a look at our race leader. There he is, continuing to manage the gap. Maybe it's helping him to have Donetti behind him on this occasion, just keeping him honest and keeping him going. But he surely can't be too far away from a pit stop, can he? How long can he make this last?
Well, I'd say he will be coming in at the end of this lap. Tonetti will be very grateful when he does because he'll get out of the way. You can see the pace that BMW has over the Mustang. He's been so much quicker than the Mustang. The Mustangs have struggled for pace here all week, actually, so I'm surprised we're not seeing the flash of the lights from Tonetti. No doubt he'll be a bit hot under the helmet at the moment, maybe getting over the radio saying, someone get down to TTR and tell this guy to get out of the way because I really need to get past. I've got a lot of pace, and you can see him keen to use it. Just using common sense, there's no real spot to pass. Look at the air they get over that bump. We almost talked, look, it's almost a sort of a rally stage style feel to that part of the circuit. It's basically just a tarmac rally, this track, if you think about it. 25 Ks, it's just a looping rally stage, and you get a few guys doing this. We reached the 18th kilometre now. That's a very well placed sign, that nice shot, just to show how far they have come around this circuit in only one lap. And as you mentioned, 4 laps of this race completed. We're probably only going to get 6, maybe 7 laps if we're lucky in this race. We'll have to wait and see. But this is who is leading our race at the moment, James Machen from Braden Henderson. 57-second gap. What will that be once he comes into the lane? For a little bit on the grass there, but this will be, I'd say, the last time he comes down the Dottinger before he comes into the pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon it's not too far away. Hammond, he's there in P6. I thought that might have been a little bit closer than that to Hutton. But we'll go back to our race leader, actually. I do apologise for jumping around like this, but it just is one of those circuits you need patience. It's required around here. And you get to that 18-kilometre mark, and it just makes you feel a little bit better, doesn't it? Knowing there's only, 7 or so kilometres remaining as we continue now. Let's have a look at Machen now. Will he pull into the pits? Donetti's getting close. Yes, here he comes. James Machen into the pits. So whilst he pulls up to his invisible pit crew, this man, ooh, what is a pit stop around here? Somebody, please let us know. I have that information there somewhere, but I've lost it now. But this is going to be touch and go for Henderson. And let me tell you, Mum's going to be watching on at home, cheering on her man.
Oh, certainly is. The whole Henderson family gets around this. They put it on the big screen. They absolutely love it. And that's what a lot of people do that, actually. We get a lot of feedback that everyone loves tuning in, throwing it on the big screen, watching it. Or, if, they're drivers, they chuck it on while they're eating their bowl of cornflakes the next morning, and just gets around the broadcast, which is great to see. But this man has, for the most part today, and I want to touch wood here quite a few times so I don't jinx him. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but he's been relatively flawless today. He has done a brilliant job of leading this race. He's been quick all week. He's put a lot of time and practice in to make sure that he has the pace, he has the result. And he came out, he got upgraded to pro when we went to Austria for the Super Sprint earlier in the year, and he came out swinging with 2 race wins there. This will be his 3rd race win of the season if he can pull it off. And I'll have to double check with my stat man, Mr. Trevor Byers, but I'm pretty sure that would make him the most winningest driver this season to date.
Yeah, absolutely. 84% winning ratio here. And you know me, Isaac, 74% of my statistics could possibly be true. And that is, that's a number I could live with, let me tell you. But 16 minutes remaining now. Machen there he is, Henderson. Come back to me, Braden Henderson. There he goes, flashing through the screen. Sandwith in the pits. And boxen stoppen, as we like to say here in Deutschland. And Elzine now doing quite well in 4th. So he's looking good now, but there's not really a lot going on in the way of battles. But Hammond, the other Porsche, into the pit lane they go. Gray inside the top 10 now for Adam Gray, TTR Southside. Are we impressed by this man's performance this evening?
I think so. He didn't get the result in qualifying he would have wanted. He now sits 9th on the road, and that's because he stayed out of trouble. He's got Cameron Fleming not too far behind, absolutely lurking on the back of this 57 car. And Cameron Fleming is not a driver to be messed with if you want to defend a position, because he will go for the overtake. He's a very aggressive driver, but it's a good thing. Absolutely, we love to see a bit of aggression, maybe not on the Nordschleife in a narrow part of the circuit, but when you're going for moves, you want to see a little bit of aggression to get it done, make it stick, and that's what Cameron Fleming can do. And Adam Gray will know that, but he also knows he's got a championship to lead, so he just wants a tidy result here. His closest rival, Bob Norley, down in 21st place, and Adam Joy, who sits in third, is even further down the field, I believe. So he's actually going to come away with a bit more of an advantage after this race in this championship if he keeps it up.
Yeah, he's looking good, isn't he? As Elzine now continuing on there, chasing a podium finish. And Sandwith up to third, of course, leading the Pro-Am class. As we see these drivers flashing through here. Beautiful circuit, this one, of course. It is has been around for a long time, 1927, this circuit here at Nürburgring in Germany. And there's some great corners here, absolutely, none of which I won't tackle some of the longer ones, but there's the Wippermann, the Brücken, the Bergwerk, and the Vorsteiner, and that is just to name a few, and the Hudson-Bach, and the Jaguar curve. That sounds a little bit more British, doesn't it? But Elzine doing well. This young man has continued to impress me this season, and because he just continues to deliver. Impress in German is Beidendrucken, and he's doing a bit of that here this evening once again.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job sitting in third. He's sitting a fair way back from Adam Elzine, from James Machen, I should say now. So not the outlap he would have wanted. He's actually not too far ahead of Nathan Hutton. I'm not sure there. You can just see him sort of sneak into the background there. But that's a man who's doing a wonderful job in this race. Nathan Hutton, he's flown a bit under the radar. This is his first race as a full-time Pro-Am driver for CP Racing. And we'll see if we can get the director onto car number 47, which you can just see in the background there. But he's doing just a brilliant job in his first official race for CP Racing on a full-time basis. Jumped into this Pro-Am category, was, I think, quite nervous about getting behind the wheel of this car at the Nordschleife, but he's just done brilliantly, sitting in fourth place again. It's about staying out of trouble. You've got multiple drivers up and down the field that have got great results as a result of just as a way of just staying out of trouble, and that's what this track can do. It can either gift you a wonderful result and a beautiful bag of points, or it can bite you and send you all the way to the back, and then suddenly you're the championship leader, you're in 18th place, and you're wondering what happened, because I was looking really strong for this race. So it's great to see a few different names at the top. Obviously, we want to see our championship drivers battling it out, but I also think, in a way, just from an entertainment point of view, it makes the championship more exciting if it's closer. So maybe this will bring the drivers closer together in points. But can confirm the other driver we've had DNF in this race, just looking at the timing sheets, is none other than Simon Bishop. He has retired from this race. And I believe, I'm just trying to look, I haven't seen him. We might have to scroll further down the board to find out, but I don't think there's a Matt Simmons either.
No, well, I might pack up my schnitzels and head off, I think, because, well, Bishop going was bad enough, but Matt Simmons also leaving. We didn't see him come through. And, wow, that is terrible news for Bishop and Simmons. And yeah, they could have, well, we're not to know, are we? I think I'm hearing Stone Harbour out as well. I'm hearing there, but 11 minutes to go, and there's some big names, and like you said, this could throw things out of whack for the championship as well, because with 3 rounds to go, that's a long, big haul of points and a long line of superstars that are out for this race. But that's not going to worry this man, Henderson, with 10 minutes remaining. And what's that going to be? Look at this, though. Are we going to see some rain? No, because we've got 10 minutes left, 30 minutes. Look at the forecast there. It's cloudy, but we are not going to get any rain here. But the track temperature, 35 degrees. Das is very hot, isn't it, Isaac?
It is. It is quite warm despite the cloud coverage. Hopefully the cloud coverage will bring a little bit of temperature out of the car. But we'll see one more lap after this, I would suggest, depending on how quickly he gets back. But he's at the 18-kilometre mark. So I would suggest we'll see him cross the line, do one more lap, and that'll be all she wrote for this 1 hour race, the community vote round. I think it's safe to say it's been quite a challenge for our drivers, but I don't think any of them are going to be super excited to come back here anytime soon.
No, absolutely not. Much prefer the GP layout. We had a yellow flag briefly. We might just recap through the field. James Machin there in P2. And he's doing very nicely indeed. Elzine, he was battling with him. There he is in P3 for the Pro class. And then Hutton leading the way in the Pro-Am there, doing very nicely indeed. And it's Quadrille in the Ferrari, P4 for him in the Pro class. Then Max Silva, P2, P6 overall on the circuit. P2 for him in the Pro-Am. He's had a very reasonable evening there as he passes the 18-kilometre mark. And not a lot of damage going on there to that car. He's kept his nose clean. And that's pretty much what you need to do around the Nordschleife here. And he's done quite well this evening as we see him continuing on there. Sandwith in third, on for a Pro-Am podium. Also doing very nicely indeed in that number 15 Ferrari. Not the highest running Ferrari out there on the circuit, because that's in the hands of Quadrille. And car number 67 as well, continuing through the order. There's Mr. Fleming. Cam Fleming there as well. He's lost his teammate, hasn't he? Or has he? No. Yes, he has, of course. You can see car number 7 there in the BMW. Continuing on then, Gray not too far behind. This could be the closest battle on the circuit. But I'm looking further down the field here as we see Struick, but Hammond there in the AM class. But he's not in the AM class. But Stewart doing well, but how close is he to Twining? Well, no, the timing sheets haven't updated. We've got a yellow flag out there. Car number 180. I don't think we've got one of those, but Joy is still yet to serve his penalty, so a little bit to play out here, but it's looking good. Ian Stewart could be well on his way here to another win in this championship. He's been Mr. Consistency for me this year in the AM class.
And that's what we've talked about. Consistency can win championships, and he showed up each week. He's put the work in. He just last season, season 1, he wasn't doing the 1 hour races because he wasn't quite across how the pit stop system works, but he's got his head around it. He showed up for every single race this season, and it's just showed in his results and where he sits in this championship that he's just doing really good. This will be his best ever finish if it stays how it is now, 14th place. It'll also be the best ever finish for LJ Les Sandwith up in 7th place. I got the stats on that not too long ago. His best place so far this season was a 10th. It was his only top 10 this season, was a 10th place all the way back in Silverstone, if you can cast your minds back that far. And he'll be very happy with the fact that he's getting a 7th place here today if he can hold it together. That car that was backwards is now back in the lane. It's the 160 car of Clayton Twining. So the car that was second in class now returns to the pits, and that'll be a while that he has to sit there for. There's also Adam Joy in quite a few cars actually in the pit lane, just sitting there. I think there's quite a lot of drivers that have either quite a lot of damage or have had enough of this track, and I do not blame them.
Oh, absolutely. It's taken a few victims here this evening. Well, incredible. This is certainly going to be interesting. There is Mr. Boyd, or Mr. Worldwide, as I believe we have christened him this season in the Junior Fogarty Motorsports car. And there we go. Stop sending me footy scores, people. Giants trailing by 28 there. And anyway, you won't be too happy about that. But less than 6 minutes remaining. No, still plenty of time. Let's not panic, okay? That's the last thing we need, is to panic. And if you panic around this circuit, it's going to come back and bite you in the backside in Hausen, because you can see here Hammond continuing on streak with the fastest lap of the race. No points for the fastest lap, of course. Or is there? Let's wait and see. No, there's not. But Henderson continues 11 seconds. Could there be a twist? Could there be a twist in the tail? That is the question. And you can see there the battle continuing. We're hearing a little birdie is telling me that we've got a battle on our hands all over Gray and Lee. It is Lee versus Gray here. And this is worth the Deutschmarks and the price of admission alone. And out can't last a lap. These comments coming in. We do appreciate you getting amongst the chat for Adrenaline GT on YouTube, TrackSpotTV on YouTube as well, and Twitch. And 4.5 minutes remaining. This battle could very well last 4.5 minutes here to end this race.
I hope it does, because it's shaping up to be quite the close action. This will be the last lap of the race, I would suggest, for all our drivers. So this is the last opportunity for Nathan Lee to make something happen. He just needs to stay close enough that he can try and get in the slipstream on the Dottinger, but against the Mustang, I don't like his chances, especially given it's the Ferrari. But we'll keep a close eye on this battle. I think it's the closest battle on track at the moment. Everyone else seems to be relatively spread out, so this is where the action is.
Certainly is. You can see continuing on there. As that, you can see the track marshals getting very weary around this circuit. It's dropped by 1 degree, the track temperature. And, well, I don't know about you, Isaac, but this has been a terrific race for everybody. And can we do a 6 hours or a 24 hours around here? That'd be fantastic. We'd be absolutely losing the plot. Is that Nicholson running into trouble? There was a yellow flag there. But he is now in the pit lane, but it's all about this man. This will be his last lap of the race. We'll wait and see. I'm guessing it will be the last lap, or maybe not. Has he got a chance to get another one in? We'll keep an eye on him, but it's going to be a very happy household. Let me tell you, for this young man, Braden Henderson, or you can see as he's better known as Nitro. And of course, Nitro's mum there as well. What is this win going to mean to the team, to everybody? He's not quite there yet, is he? But what is this going to mean if he can get this over the line and get this done for Team XV Primer?
Well, it's going to be very special for these guys if they can get it done. They sit 5th in the championship at the moment. It wasn't the event they would have liked last time out at Bathurst. Only 16 points for the 82 car, 84 points for this man on your screen, but he'll be very happy with the much stronger result. Obviously, he's got the family there watching along, cheering him on. They'll be super happy for him as well. But he's just going to be, he's going to make him, so far, the most winningest driver in Season 2. Both himself, Simon Bishop, Josh Struick and Martinetti all sit on 2 wins apiece. He's about to become the first driver this season to have 3. And that's, oh, look at the air he gets over the rally jump. And that's insane, just how the front end lifts up there. Sorry, I'm just now going to start nerding out about the... Look at the front lift there through that corner as well. I'm going to start nerding out about the aerodynamics of this car and just the way it's lifting. How terrifying would that be when you're trying to steer a car at over 150 k's an hour and there's the wheels actually aren't... the car's not turning because the wheels actually aren't on the ground. But he's doing a wonderful job. Not long to go now. I'd say he won't get around for another lap. He might. But if I was Henderson with the lead I have, I'd just make sure I'm just crossing the line as soon as that timer expires.
Absolutely. As much as I'd love to see another lap, let's just wait and see how touch and go it will be. It's going to be a cracking race for him. Well, it has been a cracking race for him, of course. And boy, we've seen some big accidents. But to see those cars lifting up is just scary, isn't it? Remember Mark Webber, I think that was at Le Mans, wasn't it, a long, long time ago. But less than a minute to go in this one. We might get another lap in. Let's wait and see. Lee and Gray, it is absolutely on. Like Mario Kart and Donkey Kong here. Ferrari all over the back of the Mustang. Gray versus Lee. Oh, are we picking a winner here? Who's your money on? Oh, and well, he's just let him through. This is incredible. The Mustang, car number 57, has just let him through there. I'm not sure what has happened on that occasion. But anyway, in the meantime, the Ferrari has got the job done.
We'll get one more lap.
And
We got one more lap.
yay, we got another.
Don't sound too excited, Trev.
Yay,
Don't sound too enthusiastic. We've got 8 more minutes of this before we step away. But he's made it within plenty of time. It's only hit 0 now. But that's, just let him go there. Maybe strategic, maybe just didn't want to have to try and battle another car on the Nordschleife. But that was shaping up to be very exciting. So disappointed to see that battle fall off as quickly as it did. But we're continuing to see cars fall down the field here. And Matt Donetti, crucially. Josh Struick back up into 12th. Matt Donetti back up into 17th. No BCG cars left in this race besides Cameron Fleming, who sits in 8th. That is the big story of the day, that 3 of the 4 BCG cars have retired from this race. And Cameron Fleming is the sole driver left flying the flag, doing a great job up in 8th place. And he's right behind Les Sandwith here.
Certainly is, and wow, incredible this battle right behind Sandwith. Still plenty to play for here. Sandwith, of course, P3 in the Pro-Am class. And is he going to make a move? Let's wait and see. Sandwith is not going to give him anything here at the moment. And, well, that's the end of that one. Fleming is through, but a big story. BCG, 3 out of 4 cars no longer represented in this race. It's incredible when you think about their dominance, and they're always there or thereabouts. But tonight it's just this man, Cam Fleming, representing them, Lee. And that is done and dusted, that battle. Nicholson in the pits. So let's wait and see what's happening there. A few guys also in the pits. Our reserve, the Fogarty Motorsports Junior car, he's done okay. He's still circulating. A little bit of damage to the front of that car, but he's done okay. We've liked his evening tonight for Malangu, and it would be good to see him back again, because he's out there, he's sticking with it, and he's finishing. It looks like he's going to get a result here. Yeah, and that's what's crucial, getting points, getting teams points, bringing the car home to make sure. That's what your job is as a reserve, really, is just to bring the car home and to score crucial points, and that's exactly what he's doing by still being 25th in this race. He has a Mercedes of, I think that's Bob Norley, who sits 18th at the moment. He's just in front of him, so there'll be no real threat there. He's actually still got to serve his mandatory pit stop. He hasn't technically served his mandatory pit stop. You can see the 1 sitting next to his name, and Trevor, I've just noticed, you're also yet to serve your mandatory pit stop. So the race time has actually run out. So if you could get on that so you don't get penalised, that would be wonderful. Absolutely, and that would be fantastic. Let me tell you, it's the broadcaster there right at the back. I've got a top 30 finish here. That's how well I'm travelling here this evening. But Joy right at the back of the field, Nicholson in the pits as well. But it's all about this man. Another lap for him to just soak it in. Soak in the atmosphere around this circuit. Wow, and we've lost a few of them. Simmons, we've lost Bishop, Barton, a few others as well, but and Donetti as well, we've lost him. But let's not worry. 31 cars started this race, and we've lost a few, but let's not dwell and focus on the cars that have departed us. Let's just focus on the ones that are still remaining, and none are bigger than this man. It's going to be a huge win for them. He's continuing on around this circuit. 7 laps into the end, 8 laps completed by the end of this one. And boy, this sets us up for a cracking 8, 9 and 10 to finish this season. Can you believe round 7 already? And when we went to Italy for round 1, who would have thought we'd be sitting here all these months later, round 7 of the championship, and silver as well. Hutton is on track. Let's keep an eye on this man in the Pro-Am class. He's up for a good result here as well, and very, very happy to get that car over the line. No weather to speak of here, this evening at the Nordschleife, and also good to see that the servers have held up pretty well. Always good to see. We had some concerns coming in. Oh, Hutton going off there. Just had a moment there with Hutton, but good to see the servers standing up as well. No real issues to speak of. I don't want to talk too soon, but everything seems to have held up pretty well.
Yeah, don't jinx it, Trev. That would be quite bad if we got this far into the race and then all of a sudden everything crashed. So, but it's done well. We had a few concerns coming into this event that it might not quite hold up the way we want it to, given just how intense this and how large this circuit is and how much the server has to do just to load it in, let alone all the cars that we have on the circuit. But it's held its end of the bargain, and we've had a good return on investment here in terms of the action that we've been provided as a result. So I think all parties have come away, or not all parties, but most parties have come away quite happy here, quite pleased with the outcome of this, and it's nice to see a few new faces at the top. This will be a maiden podium, I believe, for Adam Elsie, and I will confirm that with my stat man for you. But I do believe that it will be a maiden podium, and we'll double check that. But this has been a great result for all drivers so far today. Just to still be running this circuit really is a test of your mental and physical endurance, and just takes such a big capacity to do laps and laps and laps on end of this circuit. And I've lapped this circuit, as I mentioned earlier, for about 3 hours in one stint. And well, you do come into the lane, get a short break, put some fuel and tyres on and go again, but 3 hours with barely any break, as you see the front end lift up again on that Mercedes. It just takes a toll. So I can only imagine how these drivers are feeling after an hour, and I can confirm with my stat man that this will be a maiden podium for Adam Elsie if he does not lose that position to Nathan Hutton, but it seems to be getting closer and closer.
Oh, look at this. It's getting close, 1.5. We'll keep an eye on that battle. Lee, we'll do that right now, actually. As you can see there, what a great performance. What a result for Elsie. Of course, we've followed his progress right throughout the course of the season. And can he hang on? He's going to hang on either way, I reckon. But on track, at least, Hutton is right up close behind him. Car number 877 onto the Dottinger straight goes our overall race leader. Stewart there leading the AM class as well. Hutton leading at the Pro-Ams. And I've got to say, what a race we've seen here. Plenty of action. We sure have had a value for money here this evening. Struick is going to finish, whereabouts is P6 in the Pro class. P10 on the track, fastest lap as well. But we might keep an eye on this one, or we might get back to our race leader here to see him cross the line. He's still got a long way to go there, of course, but as he rises up, it never gets old, does it? Seeing the aerodynamics of these cars as he slows down. Here we go. It's going to be a terrific victory for him here this evening. The lights are flashing, the house is buzzing, and he wins this race. Henderson takes the checkered flag. Great to see some new faces here at the top of the order here in AGT. What a result for Henderson. Machen crosses the line in second, but oh, look.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. This is not done with yet, and he's got him.
Oh!
He's still going to get the podium, but on track, it's all action in front of our eyes. It all comes down to this.
This could end in tears, Trev. Look at how close they are to this final section of the corner, side by side on the Dottinger. He snapped, Elsie snapped back behind Hutton, but I think Hutton is going to hold on. Yes, he is. They're going to go side by side. They're going to pull out to go across the line together. Look at that gap, less than a tenth between third and fourth after an hour of racing at the Nordschleife. You do not get any closer than that. We have a Pro-Am driver on the podium, Adam Elsie, and I was talking up how it was going to be his first podium of his AGT career, and it's been snatched away at the last second by Nathan Hutton, who gets himself onto the podium.
Unbelievable. Still P3 in class there. Quadril comes across the line. Silver. Fleming, now the only BCG car remaining on this circuit here this evening. And disappointing evening for them. But still, to just get one car across the line, it would be better than nothing, that's for sure. And you can see there, here he comes now, all on his lonesome. Sandwith was close, wasn't he? 4.4 seconds further back now. That's the gap as Sandwith, you can see there, Fleming comes across and he takes the checkered flag, continues on. Sandwith now, and good result here. 3 Ferraris inside the top 10 overall. Not bad efforts from the Scuderia cars. Sandwith across the line. Lee comes in there, and Struick as well across the line. But boy, they're still going here. Gray outside the top 10. He's going to finish in P5 for himself there overall in the Pro-Am class. Sinclair coming through. They're all finishing up now. And we lost a few of them, didn't we? 28 in the end, minus about 3 or 5. Joy still did not serve that stop-go. As you can see there, Hammond continuing on now, and they're all finishing up. But boy, meanwhile, it's a long lap around here. The party started in the Henderson camp. He's disappeared. He's grabbed himself a beer, and he's already celebrating as we take a look at Hammond here.
Yeah, this is going to be a strong result for Hammond. 13th place in this race. As he comes down towards the line. This is probably not entirely going to make a little bit of damage on the front end of that Porsche, but a 13th place is still strong points for Pinnacle Motorsport and his first run in a Porsche in this series. So it's really good to see him bring the home. Mark Sinclair, a really strong result as well. One of his best results in this series in 12th place, and he will cross the line. Nick Carter will finish 14th. And probably a race to forget for a lot of these drivers as we continue to look further down the field. Matt Donetti, our championship leader, great result to come back from dead last all the way to 17th in the field. And yeah, not much more we can say about that, except it is crucial points for him. Josh Struick, though, 10th place with the fastest lap. So a wonderful comeback after contact with Matt Simmons earlier in this race.
Absolutely, and whilst the drivers are continuing, we'll just let them do their thing. Henderson taking the win overall in the end there. And great result for them. The Mercedes AMG car doing very nicely indeed. Machen in second, Hutton third overall, first in his class in the Pro-Am class there. Elzine in third. Great result overall for him. We don't want to look at his race laps so far, do we, as we head back to the pits there? I beg your pardon, Elzine there, a quadral in P5 overall, P4 in the Pro class. Silver, great result for him, second in the Pro-Ams. Fleming, Sandwith, Lee as well, Ferraris there, 8th and 9th overall at the end of the day, 3rd and 4th, so a podium there in the Pro-Am class. Struick inside that top 10. Will he be happy with that? Not too sure if he will be all that happy with his performance, considering what we saw in qualifying. And Gray there as well, outside that top 10. Sinclair, Hammond, Carter, Stewart. Good result for him. That'll set him up nicely for the remaining 3 rounds of this championship in the AM class. Burrows, disappointing for him. And then Donetti as well. Well down the field there. Norley, Boyd, Twining there, rounding out the top 20 as we see the final drivers coming home. Griffin and Nicholson continuing on. Wood, who had that penalty in the race, didn't do much good for him. And Malangu there, the reserve, also finishing further down the field. Sheppers 25th, Joy 26th, and that is the rest of the field there. But what a race around this circuit, and once again, it's taken a few victims here tonight.
I think it's taken more than a few. We've seen the last 2 rounds have been really something in terms of the carnage that has taken place. We saw Bathurst, and just crashes left, right, and centre, and that's a really easy place to come unstuck. And then we've come here, and it's exactly the same. It's super easy for our drivers to come unstuck or make a little bit of contact or bounce off the curb in just the wrong way, and it will bring your whole race undone. So to everyone that's still finished the race, that's just an amazing job. couldn't be more impressed with the driving that we saw here tonight from all of our drivers. So congratulations to every single one of them. I think we still have one car, which might be Matt Donetti actually, running around on his own and yet to finish the race. So they're still waiting for Matt Donetti to cross the line. He's just all on his lonesome as he enters the Donninger. So I think we're going to switch back.
We'll go to Matt Donetti.
Have a look at him. There's our championship leader on screen, all by himself. Just in his own little world, probably got a little bit of music on, just vibing away. And he will bring home what looks like, it says 15th place, but I believe that's because a few drivers have left the server. From what I understand, it was actually 17th on the road once he crosses the line. So that's still, again, crucial championship points for the man who's leading the way. And with no Simon Bishop tonight, who didn't finish the race, that championship lead will most likely grow.
Certainly will. And boy, we were in the departure lounge there at Nürburgring Airport. And we've been called back because Matt Donetti finishing this race. And you can see the final results there on your screen. And this round 7 has been an absolute ripper here at the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, and the community vote round, of course. A brilliant success. And what a circuit this is. Beautiful camera angles there as well around this track. And boy, where do we start to unpack things? Braden Henderson, all about that man. He'll be very pleased getting on his plane tonight.
Yeah, he'll be going home super happy. He just drove brilliantly from start to finish. I said it in qualifying. He's been quick all week. He was doing 14s. We saw a 12 in qualifying from Josh Struick, so we knew that he was going to be flying, but unfortunately he came unstuck at the start of that race. Massive shout out to Niff as well, who just drove absolutely brilliantly. I'm 95% sure he was actually driving on controller as well. So not only is he driving this track in an Aston Martin, which has 18 kilos of weight on board, he's battling with another driver as close as he was. He's doing the whole thing on controller, which it just blows my mind. So that's a really impressive result for Nathan Hutton, who finished third.
Absolutely, and makes that result even better, doesn't it? It's a scary prospect, the controller around here, and we go from this circuit here this evening, round 7, of course, to round 8. And speaking of scary circuits, the Belgium Grand Prix, that is a 3-hour race, another endurance round of this championship. And by the time we get, it's not too far, is it, from Germany over to Belgium, but we are very much looking forward to that one.
I am certainly looking forward to that one. I think I actually say this about every single track of this game, but it is genuinely such a fun circuit, one of my favourite, and I can't wait to see. Last time we did this top 10 shootout, we remember it well, Trev. It ended with 2 drivers setting the same time in the shootout, so anything could happen when we go to the Belgian Grand Prix. It says 180 minutes, 3 hours. It's actually going to be shortened to only 2 hours because we're running a solo driver format now, so that'll be a 2-hour race for our drivers, similar to what we did at Watkins Glen, but that knockout qualifying Friday, that's going to set our grid, and that's going to be super action-packed.
Absolutely, can't wait for that one. That is the next round of this championship, Sunday the 10th of August. From the Belgian Grand Prix, of course, from Spa-Francorchamps. But that is all we have time for here this evening. Boy, what an evening it's been, of course, here, round 7 of Season 2 of the Adrenaline GT ACC Championship. Thank you, Isaac, once again. Great to have you back alongside me in the commentary box, and cannot wait for Spa in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, no, thank you, Trevor. It's been a pleasure to be back. I was a little bit rusty in the commentary box tonight, but we're getting back into the swing of it, and I'm very much looking forward to Belgium in 2 weeks. Absolutely
can't wait for that. I've been your host, Trevor Byers, on behalf of TrackSpotTV. If you want to get involved, head over to TrackSpot, all the W's.TrackSpot.tv. We'd love to hear from you, but that's all we have time for here this evening from the Nordschleife and the community vote round. It's been an absolute pleasure to have your company. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Spa. But for now, it's goodbye. We'll see you next time.